When it comes to lordship, most people will take just the nature of the planets. For example, if the fourth lord is Mars, in the ascendant they are taking it as just the Mars. But we have to understand that the planet will always function on these two levels. One will be related to that Mars, to the nature of a planet, and the other will be related to that Lord itself, which will be the nature of the Bhava Karaka. So for example, if it is the fourth Lord, it will act externally as Mars, but internally as the Moon. So this is one very important exception, because we can have a very interesting combinations here. For example, if the ninth Lord would be Rahu, right? So then it means that the Rahu is working as an external factor, but it also, we have to understand that this is the ninth Lord. So it will have the function to protect you, to give you the dharma, to give you the bhagya, the fortune, and so on. And therefore, we could say that it is also working as a Jupiter. So the internal or the philosophy would be of the ninth lord, but it will work as the Rahu. We have to understand that this lordship will have the specific roles to play, and this will be shown, or this will manifest internally as the Bhava Karaka. Therefore, the ninth lord works like a Jupiter, the fourth lord would work as a Moon, and the sixth lord would work as a Mars. So this is definitely something now interesting when we combine those malefics / benefics things, because when the sixth lord, let's say it is Jupiter, so, and it's in the ascendant, like for example, River Phoenix had this combination, sixth lord Jupiter in the Lagna. So it works as a sixth lord, which could be some type of opposition, disturbance, which is easily triggered when the malefic aspect or any malefic yoga is there, but it is also the Jupiter, right? So through Jupiterian means. And as we said, the other role was the ninth lord, Rahu, right? So it is true Rahu means, but his philosophy, his way is of the ninth lord. So he wants to protect you, he wants to give you all the goodies. Now, sometimes we are threatened by the situation where we have many planets influencing one house. It could be many planets in the one house, or there could be a lord and the house, and they will have completely different nature. So what to do in such dilemma? We have two nice solutions. One is see the dasha. So the timing is always touching or running the vehicle of your karma, because your karma is not static picture. It seems like that only. It is rather different connections which will be activated, and therefore it will, this whole machine, it can run in completely different ways. So in one point of time or in one period of time, it could be totally different situation, your relationship, wealth, career life, and so on. So the dasha, see which period is running, and it will then accentuate. Will it be the planet in the house? Will it be the lord? Sometimes the dispositor. If the dispositor of the lord is nicely placed and the dasha of such planet is working, then that house will be improved by the means of the position of the dispositor. So now this is a nice bridge to a little bit more advanced way of practicing Jyotisha, when you see it in more dynamic way. And then you can also see how one point will activate much more houses. So it will change the whole array of areas. By the way, if you'd like me to help you with your chart, to navigate where you are and what to do to live better in context of health, relationship, and career life, then you may consider booking a consultation. The link is in the description. Such way of analysis of the chart will also reflect more how the life works. Now, when the two planets are joined, they may exchange their energy. So they're like a gift for each other. And therefore, we have to be also understanding this organic way how this energy is transferred. For example, if you have Marana Karakastana planet and it is joining the other one, then usually the other one will suffer or will take the brunt, as we say, of this Marana Karaka planet. And similarly, for the exaltation planet, it is giving the energy to the planet it's joining. So if you have an exalted and debilitated planet together, it's quite interesting charts to analyze. For example, again, like in the River Phoenix, we have this Venus and Mercury together in the 12th house. So it means that the Venus was debilitated, it's going up. but at the cost of Mercury, which is the 9th lord and also the 12th lord. So you may go up, but the 12th lord is going down, and also the other way. So these pairs of exaltation and debilitation, when they are joining, when they are together, it is creating that extreme, we would say, exchange of energies. And it may work on different ways. For example, for Sun, it could be about self-confidence. You may have those extremes, peaks, ups and then down, which can be very difficult to explain with other branches of knowledge. So astrology may give you that lacking explanation for such things. When something is going up, then the other things is going down. And it has nothing to do with the psychology. It has nothing to do with your subjective effort or it's nothing you've pushed that is changing the situation. This is what the synchronity by Carl Jung was also meaning, that there are things which are connected, they are externally connected, but not pushed by the subjective or not caused by the subject. And the last point, when we are analyzing the lordships, which area of life, which lordship would be activated, then always we have to remember that the final say will depend on the varga position. For example, if the 6th lord is working, it may give you the time when you are single. It's not the best time for meeting someone or to increase your friend circle. But if it's in the 7th house, the time for relationship, then it will decide. And then the 6th house in the Rasi chart will show other things. Like, for example, you are working or you have other challenges related to, you have maybe enmity or you have some court cases, but still in that time, you can meet someone, right? We have this experience when it's not like that the 6th house is like piercing through all the vargas, right? Like if you have a fifth house situation, right? So it's about followers. So it's not that you have followers in the work, you have followers in education, you have followers everywhere. It's not, this doesn't sound realistic. It's not syncing with our experience of life. So 5th house may be activated in dashamsa. You may get a new job, you may have some important event related to your workers, but in the same time, you may have a 4th house situation in the Rasi chart. And of course, generally, it may stop you from the 5th house activities, because this Rasi chart, it is so broad energy that, for example, the 4th house may make you more inside the house, or it made you more focused on the moon-like activities, like getting some rest and things like that, whilst the 5th house is demanding from you the sun activity. Because also the Rasi chart is showing your physical body. So for example, if you have to go to the foreign countries, you need to take your body with you. So it has to be in D1, in the D9 and in the D4. But the Bhava in the Varga will dominate. If the 12th house, which is giving the marriage, is activated in the Rasi chart, but the 7th lord in the Navamsha is not activated, it will not give you the marriage. So similarly, if a 10th house is activated, but the Dashamsa is not opening the doors for a new job or promotions, then also that part of your life will not get activated. So therefore the Vargas are so important for a timing. Without the Vargas, nothing will happen. Alright guys, so that will do for today. If you'd like to see similar video, then please consider watching this one here.